Hi there, I'm Dani Henderson, spiritualtherapist.com, and today it gives me great joy in my heart and in my soul to introduce a couple that I have been watching for some time who I see as being so full of genuine love for each other. On our journey through this life that we inhabit, that we live, we often hear about twin flames and soul agreements and past lives, etc., and soul recognition. And I really feel like these two, Psychic Ali and Gregg Prescott in particular, embody all of the above. So I'm going to say hello, welcome you beautiful two.
Hello.
Hi.
So
So
happy to be here. Thank you for
Yeah.
reaching out. And we're so sorry we didn't see the last um reach out that you did for us. We're gutted, aren't we? But it must be that now's the right time.
Yep.
it's timing. It's always perfect timing, definitely. And I know this is the right time for us to share you
Yeah.
on the Small But Mighty channel. So Psychic Ali, welcome. Can you please
Hello.
give us a rundown of who you be and then also share your first spiritual awakenings?
Okay. Well, I always knew that I was a little bit different, I would say. When you just don't fit in with the crowd, you try, but it's like in the end I just thought I'm just going to be me. And yeah, but you sometimes feel excluded a little bit, kind of at school. And then kind of when I left school, I picked up a pack of tarot cards and I thought they can't really tell you anything. 78 cards, how can they tell you anything? I had a reading and they were reading from the manual because they were studying, and they basically told me everything. They told me all the intricate things about what was going on in my life at that time. At the time I was going through a breakup, and it wasn't just your normal breakup. It was there was a lot going on in it, and it just word for word said anything. And I thought, okay, there's something in this. So I decided to learn the tarot. So I taught myself, now teaching the tarot and psychic development as well. I just love spreading that joy when you find your true self, because we're all psychic. Everybody's born psychic, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when people find that other side of them, their confidence levels just boom. And yeah, so that's kind of, and now I've got I do psychic readings. Gregg made me a lovely website. So Gregg made me a lovely website, and yeah, it just was a hit in America, so I couldn't be more grateful. And in 5D, the family welcomed me in.
Open
And,
arms.
they
Yeah.
did, so I feel completely blessed.
She's like the N5D matriarch.
I'm the mom, and he's daddy. So
I love it. I love it. Before we move on to your husband, Gregg, can you tell us what is one of the single most profound spiritual connections or emotions or experiences that you had from a child to the present time?
oh, I would say really being able to read people, being able to understand when someone's feeling uncomfortable and when to bring them out of themselves. I think that's a real it made me really feel that if everybody opened up to that, what a wonderful world it would be.
Mhm.
So it's like if someone's feeling uncomfortable, you give them space and encouragement to come out of themselves, or when they feel as if they just want to stay in the background, to be able to do that. So reading people, I think, is important. Yeah.
So what brought you to that? Did you have any kind of spiritual experience, explosion, anything angelic that happened to you? Was there a paranormal experience that helped you to open up in particular?
Um, I think it really exploded when I lost my dad. Um, I lost my dad, and he passed away. He was given 6 months to live. Basically, he had cancer, and in those 6 months, you really start to realize what it's like to just to live, and it's like watching him live his 6 months to the best that he could possibly live was pretty amazing. And I think when he did pass, he is now one of my main spirit guides. and we communicate every day. So, and there's times that because his sense of humor was so big, sometimes I'm kind of in a group situation and he's saying something that's really not appropriate, that is really funny, and I have to stop myself from saying anything, or perhaps during a reading, so yeah, that really exploded things, I think.
Oh, that's amazing. You often find that people have some kind of a tragic, a heart-wrenching, a sad, something that pushes them into that next layer of who they are. And it's beautiful that you have your dad as one of your guides. What's his name?
Mick. Yeah.
Hi, Mick. Hi, mate. Welcome. I'm sure you're very proud of these two. Well, let's move to your husband, Gregg. Hi, Gregg. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Really happy to have you here. I would love to know from you, when you first came to an awareness of self, a spiritual connection, a spiritual awakening.
I don't know. I'm kidding. Hell if I know. What are you asking me that for?
It's the worst nightmare as an interviewer, isn't it?
I know. I'm like the king of introverts. But actually, I remember going into the church when I was younger and just getting the EBGBs, knowing that there was something off with organized religion, at least in my books. And then a little later on, I had this interest in metaphysics, and I saw this ad in the back of a book, and it was for you teach yourself how to do out-of-body experiences and all sorts of cool stuff. So I saved up my money, and I put, at the time, it was like $4 cash inside of an envelope, and mailed it off. And I went to the mailbox every day because I didn't want my parents to see the book. It was kind of like occult kind of esoteric kind of teachings. But yeah, I eventually got the book, and I never learned how to astral travel. I came really close one time, though. I started lifting out of my body and my phone rang.
That was God saying, not today, Gregg, not today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how you took it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Would your mum and dad have thought it was a cult? Or, I mean, the book obviously wasn't a cult.
No,
it was just spiritual teachers.
Esoteric stuff.
But your mum and dad might have thought that.
Yeah, my parents are Christian. They're Methodists, and I respect them and I love them. But I'm not. I just am spiritual.
Yeah.
And that was another huge part for me in my life, was watching Zeitgeist. Love that. And The Secret.
Oh my God. I just spent an hour and a half with this beautiful woman in Japan. Her name is Miyoko. Hi, Miyoko. She is, I'm told, the equivalent to Dr. Michael Salla, but in Japan. A great historian, a great reporter on esoterics, metaphysics, spirituality, galactic information. Now I've completely blanked on what I was going to say with Miyoko in Japan. Yeah. And it's not an age thing. It's just an in and out of who we are, right?
Information. And
exactly. Because you just triggered something in me, Gregg. What was the last thing you said? Can you remember?
The Secret.
The Secret.
Oh my God, yes. That's right, The Secret, because that lady, Miyoko, she was the one in Japan who translated the book for the Japanese speaking people. And so a lot of people woke up around that time. And I always say so many times, if we could just watch the first Zeitgeist, because there's been a couple of people get misled. The very first Zeitgeist, which explains all the religions, how they're all the same, how they're a copy, which really pisses people off and triggers them. But sorry, it's the truth on your planet. So amazing. Gregg, what were you going to say?
I felt the weight of the world lift off of my shoulders when I saw that, especially about religion, how, there's like at least, I don't know, 10, 11 previous deities that were born to a virgin mother, died on the cross, resurrected after 3 days. Same story over and over. 12 disciples. Same story. The most previous one was Mithra, whose story is almost identical to Jesus, almost identical in every way. So it just, and then I'm like, okay, now it all makes sense. But in retrospect, I also studied a lot through like Jordan Maxwell and Michael Tessarian, and I learned a lot about astrotheology. And if you look at the Bible, it's written in perfect astrotheological order, where you have the golden calf introducing the age of Taurus, the blowing on the ram's horn, to introduce the age of Aries, the feeding of the masses with 2 fish. Pisces, when Jesus said, follow the masses, follow the man bearing the pitcher of water on his shoulder to this house. That's the age of Aquarius, where we're at. It's all in perfect astrotheological order, reverse astrotheological order.
It is. And it's so beautiful to hear, you two like talk in that way and deliver. Because, when we watch you on Facebook and you're doing your lives, which we're going to come to, we don't always get to see the body of knowledge that you both have together and all the training that you've done, all the study that you've done. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I look at you, I feel like what you espouse and share now is purely from experience. Is that correct?
Yeah. I've read books, but mainly it's my guides that have taught me. So it's like when I'm doing a lesson plan, psychic development, I'll read something and then the lesson will come to me on how to make it simple for people. He's more knowledgeable than me. I mean, he's very intelligent, aren't you?
I understand what Dani's saying about getting lost sometimes, because I'm looking at you and she has this little tiny sparkle on her cheek. And I'm like, oh, it's sparkly.
He does like
a butterfly.
Squirrel.
Yeah, but as far as you two, like, you really do love each other. So let's get a little bit into your love story. So Gregg, let me start with you. When did you first see Ali, and what became undone inside of you and why?
Okay, well, in 2008, I had at the time I was a child and family therapist for at-risk youth. I had my own business. It was really successful, and I was working. I wrote a patent pending project designed to help families who are at risk of dissolution, children going through the reunification process, and for parents in need of parenting classes. But I knew there was something greater I had to do. So I remember one day I just dropped down to my knees and surrendered. And I said, what is it I need to know? And that was the day I got this download. And it was like all this information at once about, okay, you need to build this website in 5D. And they even told me what the name of the website would be. You're going to be interviewing people, and you're going to be putting the word out there. And I'm like, you got the wrong person. I'm an introvert. And they're like, no, you're the one. And I feel that other people also got the same or similar messages around that time, because there was a lot of things that popped up around that time. Flash forward a few months after that, I had a dream where I saw Ali and she's just smiling. And I just remember seeing her basically from her neck up, because I didn't notice anything else about it. I didn't have to know anything about her. She didn't say a word. She's just smiling at me.
And he fell in love instantly, Dani. It was like that was it.
In a dream. But
Yeah.
turn your volume up, guys, a little bit. I think we've got a little bit of an audio interrupt here. Just make sure your volume's up. Yeah. Gregg, continue. This is beautiful. So you have a dream and you see this blonde goddess in a dream. Then what happens?
Okay, well, let me try moving that a little closer to us. Yeah.
Better.
So yeah, I see her in my dream. She's smiling. She didn't say a word, so I didn't know she was British or anything. Just smiling, but I knew she was my other half. I knew it. She was my twin flame. She was my other half. Okay, so I wake up and I remember that dream. And at the time, I was single.
Thank God. Could you imagine him laying next to, it's like, oh,
you cheater.
Afterwards, I had a long-term relationship for 7 years. And even with her, I told her, my other half is on the other side of the veil. I thought because you came to me in my dreams, she stalked me in my dreams. Because you came to me in my dreams, I thought you were on the other side of the veil. I didn't think you incarnated here. But flash forward to, this was back in 2008. Flash forward to 2020 in January, before the whole, C word stuff exploded. Todd Medina from Sology was in the area in Sarasota, Florida. And he's like, hey, Gregg, I'd like to do a beach meetup with Sology and in 5D. I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. So I went through Todd's friends list to make sure I had friended all of his friends that had sent me a friend request. And I'm scrolling through his friends list, and there's the face that I saw.
You're so
and
silly.
it just took my breath away. I'm like, holy shit, she incarnated here.
Oh my
And
God.
then okay, so now it's my turn to have to basically stalk you without letting her know. I couldn't tell her. I couldn't say, hey, you're my twin flame, but I
I would have
friend
been delete.
I friended her on Facebook and on YouTube, and I watched all your videos. And but we'll get into that later on, how it all clicked in after that. But maybe you'd want Allie to say her.
Because
Yeah.
I did an affirmation kind of spell, whatever you want to call it. Because in 2008, I was ready to meet my other half. I was ready to meet the special one, not just anyone. I wanted to meet that person. And so I did, like a few herbs here and a few herbs there. And I put in this silver swan because swans mate for life. Because I didn't want anybody, I wanted this. I'd had two really horrific relationships, two paedophile, one person doesn't, I had relationships with two paedophiles, not just one.
Mm.
So you can see I wasn't looking. I really wasn't looking. When I finally met Gregg, he like blew it all out of proportion. So I must have, in my spell making, traveled over to him in the dreams back in 2008 and said nothing but smiled at him.
Yeah.
And good job he remembers his dreams. Otherwise, the other way around, I don't remember mine much. So and then it took till 2020, and I'd kind of given up hope. I'd kind of gone, oh, I'm not interested. I've had these horrible, horrific relationships. I think I'm just going to stay single, not forever, but just I wasn't ready. And you wasn't particularly ready either in 2020.
Well, once I saw you, I was.
Yeah, of course, but we weren't kind of like out there looking.
No, I had just gotten over that 7-year relationship in
Okay.
2019 at the end of that. And
And of
no,
course, there's this man, this god, this Adonis contacting me. And I think he's taking the mickey out of me. He can't be for real. Why would he be looking at me? That's ridiculous. So and I showed his picture to my mum and to my two girls, and I said, look, have you seen this guy? He keeps putting love hearts on all of my lives. He's just sitting there doing the love hearts all the time. And I was, I can't be right. Anyway, he then had to book a reading because I was still kind of like, I'm in denial here.
I built you a website before the reading, wasn't it? Or was it
No, it was after the
Okay.
reading.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But he then had to book a reading. Of course, after that, I couldn't run anywhere.
And that reading
it was like, how?
that reading was like what? It was a long reading.
It was a
You
long
still have it.
reading. That's our first date, as far as we're concerned.
Yeah.
So he managed to get you physically together in real time, albeit on screen, and then that was it. The connection was made. Oops, sorry, my
Yes.
friend. That is so
Well, no, it wasn't there. It wasn't that.
No, not
No.
quite.
No.
I kind of knew, but so I'm saying you've got this Pisces lady, and you're going to have this
In my reading.
relationship. It's going to be amazing. And he just kept smiling at me, and I'm thinking, what is he?
He's Pisces.
And he was like, she's really bubbly, and it's going to be a real big connection. You're going to work together. It's going to be great. And he just keeps smiling at me. And he said, and how do you feel about that, Ali? And I was looking at him going, what's he asking me that for? Because I was still in denial. And then, of course, we just started talking after that, and that was it.
No, there's a little bit more, because I had told her still even at that time, you didn't realize that this was the connection.
No.
But I kept telling her, I told her, I believe in you. And that's when it all kicked in.
And then all of these past lives just went boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh my goodness, you've said that to me in every lifetime. And was it? It was like this emotional kind of like whoosh.
Oh my God. So so tell us more about you recognizing the past lives. How did that take place in the body? Did it take place in the mind? Was it a feeling? Like, tell us.
It was a feeling, very much emotional, a bit like a warm blanket went around me. And And it's like I just saw it was his face, my face, but it was with different features. And sometimes there was the feminine features with him, and sometimes masculine with me, which we actually did on Halloween. I dressed up as him and he dressed as me. He let me put makeup on him.
Scary, scary. Yeah, real scary.
He does look good as a female, I've got to say. Anyway, so yeah, I saw lots of different kind of faces in different kind of countries, and you know, so it was all these visions. Yeah.
I just had a dream last week, or about a week and a half ago, that Allie was originally supposed to incarnate in 1966 to the United States, but she waited until later on.
71.
Okay, I wasn't going to say that, but
I don't care.
okay. Till 1971 to incarnate here in the UK, because with the process of what she incarnated with and to, and ended up, you know, her family and everything, she ended up it was all for karmic reasons, basically, that she had to incarnate here to help eliminate karma from previous lifetimes. But knowing that eventually you would find me and we would be together one way or the other.
Yeah. But what's the odds? This is why we want to make it public out there, because what are the odds? He's in America, I'm in England. I don't remember my dreams. Good job he does.
Yeah.
And you know, thanks to my mum as well, because my mum also said, you've got to befriend Todd Medina. I don't know what you've just got to. She knew, and so she was the instigator as well.
Yeah.
And we've all had past lives with my mum
Definitely
as well. So we're all connected.
Yeah. By the way, hi, Mom. We know you're watching.
Hi, Patricia. Yeah, she's a definite connect. Yeah, and a big heart. And I've seen like some of her posts when she calls you all her kids, like she includes you all as her kids, and that's a really really loving mum. We need to go back a step, Ali, because you know how people's minds work. We need to be very clear and careful with the metaphysics and the spirituality at the time that we're in. I believe we're in a spiritual revolution. I'm just going to put us all back on screen right now. I've just got you two. I think we're in the middle of a spiritual revolution. So from the time of The Secret, Zeitgeist, Wayne Dyer, Doreen Virtue, all of those thought leaders and spiritualists, that people are seeing another revolution happening, and they're desperately trying to force position to take a piece of the pie that's available right now. And it's concerning to me because I see a lot of manipulation, a lot of disinformation, a lot of people leading like the Pied Piper. Follow me into bullshit land. I have all the answers and nobody else does. And I cannot stand it or stomach it on my planet, our planet. And another reason why I invited you two on, because I do feel you really are and embody the essence of love in coupling too. And there are so many people that need to understand, what is a couple? What does a marriage take? What does a relationship take? What is it that when we love someone, they start to piss us off? We don't realize our wounds are coming up. Rather than attack and defend and recoil and attack them, why don't we take a minute to kind of look inside? But before we get there, you mentioned herbs, you mentioned spells, you mentioned so those are the silly minds that get all like butthurt, like, oh, she's a witch. She's a witchy witch. What do you say to them, right? Because you know people. I know people.
I do know.
Tarot. So I'm going to put you back on screen again on your own for you to address that, please.
Yeah, of course. You know,
witches wear black a lot, don't they?
We do, yeah. I believe that we've all got, it's, to me, it's all one thing. It's psychic. You know, it's, to me, herbs they've been doing it from way back. They've been making wishes, dreams. To me, prayers, affirmations, cosmic ordering, law of attraction, it's all positive thinking, and it's all love. It's all based on love, and it's all to do with an intention. So whatever your intention is, if your intention is to do bad or harm, a pack of tarot cards or herbs or, you know, candle work or whatever it is, can be bad because it's your intention to be bad. But if your intention is love, then that's the key. The key is love. And it's that there's nothing more complicated. I think it's all done in love. Yeah.
Beautiful. Gregg, in terms of Ali suddenly remembering all of her past lives, did you just say I love you?
Yeah.
You guys, honestly, you're just heart melting. You're just like butter. You just and it's so genuine. And all women, I will tell you this, Ali, I'm sure you know this, and to all the ladies out there, don't we want a man, a partner to look at us the way that Gregg looks at Ali?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Oh, wait, time out here. Time out. Okay. So I have this little snippet.
Oh, no, you're not going.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
I have
He's writing it now.
I have this snippet of Joe Cocker singing "You Are So Beautiful," and it's only like 20 seconds long.
He plays it. Okay. And so the first times that he plays it, I can
so beautiful.
So of course I'm across the room. I'm kind of at my desk doing stuff, and he's here doing his stuff. And then he just randomly plays it, and he makes sure that he plays it when I've got makeup on or not, because he knows I'm vain.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. So anyway, he plays this, and it was lovely. But then it's like weeks later, he's doing it. He was doing that, and I've got to stop what I'm doing, whether I'm in pain or not, and I've got to look at him with adoring eyes for 20 seconds.
Whole 20 seconds. Everything I hope for.
It's probably 10 seconds.
Everything I need.
Oh, I can't say that.
So what I ended up doing was I went into Filmora and I shortened it down to 1 second. That's it.
Is that to me now?
I figure she can pay attention for that 1 second.
Oh, I love it. That's so funny. That's so funny. Gregg, can you remember yourself when, apart from having the dream and recognizing your beloved, that when you really connected heart to heart, mind to mind, physically, and all the rest of it, did you have a collapsing in of past lives with Ali?
Well, it's funny because my left eye is watering. Her right eye is watering.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like
weird.
the perfect mirror of
It's
water.
always the same.
Yeah. Well, I had a past life that Ellie knew about, that I told her about. I had several in Atlantis, but the first one was great. I was a sculptor, I was an artist, I was making beautiful artwork. But the last one, I was a scientist in charge of the genetic modifications of plants, animals, and insects. And I created all these hideous creatures.
We're not always good in our past lives.
We're not. Everyone's had nefarious past lives.
Yes.
This was one of mine. And I remember as Atlantis was sinking, I saw some of my creations, telling myself, we can't let this happen again. But yet it is through like Monsanto and crap like that. Yeah. But that's where Allie picked up. She was there with me.
I'm definitely there as well. So I was not good either.
Yeah.
So, but funny enough, my mum didn't know this conversation that we'd had. And she said, oh my God, Ali, I've just had, because she approves of him 100%. There was absolutely not a doubt in her mind at all. Whereas any other person I've ever been out with, there's always been no, not good enough, no. And but she said, oh my God, Ali, I don't know whether to tell you or not, but I got this kind of image of you two in Atlantis, and you weren't good people. And there was all these kind of creatures, hideous creatures that you were morphing together and making. And I just looked at my mum and I just went, oh my God, I've got to tell you the conversation I've had with Gregg, because you're bang on, mum.
Yep. Wow.
So now when we hear these stories about the children and the duns and everything, we kind of go into that, something's got to be done. And I think that's where our passion comes from, for spreading the truth about that.
Yeah. It's incredible. And I'm so grateful that you guys both openly confess, because you remember that we are evil, some of us, in our past lives. Me also. I was a disgusting, evil old man. And I used to come through the bedroom wall to my now self and haunt myself. And I was going to drown a sack of puppies,
Right.
And so it's very difficult for some people. They just can't accept that they were bad. The ego. No, I was never bad. No, I've been a vicar, a priest, the king of the fairies, the queen of the fairies. this is the time in life, right, where we just put
Yes.
that shit down, get real, and acknowledge we are dark and we are light. And this is the
Yes.
lifetime I feel that we are going to alchemize. And the fact that you admit and you know that you were not good people in that time, that you know, experience of Atlantis. Thank you for saying that, because hopefully other people can just get behind, you know, reality. You know, the conference that we put on, the Galactic and Spiritual Informers Connection, was people coming from all over the world to really anchor themselves into their star families, into their past lives, into their knowingness, into connecting with others, so they no longer feel so alone. And it was amazing. And a light happened in the room over 3 days that lit up everyone's crap, everyone's wounds, because now is the time. The planet is ascending. We're going to ascend with her. That means we have to do that work, that shadow work.
True. Yeah. True.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful that you just bleh, bleh. It's like being real, right? This is not a rehearsed conversation, guys. It's not a rehearsed conversation.
No,
we're really good at bleh.
Yeah, we don't hide stuff. Like you dropping me in it just now.
Yep.
There she's thinking it's a fairy tale and a
but it's the silly stuff, right? If you can just be your natural self, if you can look at your wife with makeup, with no makeup, that makes her feel comfortable enough that she doesn't have to put on a face for you, you know, or be intimidated by your beauty, let's say. That's real, true love.
It took her a while to.
Took me a while. There's
go without makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I do it more often now is because my eyelashes sometimes I wear these metallic things, so I love it. I've got fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake nails. I don't care. These are real, but everything else is. So of course it peels off. You've got a layer of that and a layer of that peeling off. And gradually, it's like just Ali.
And you know what? I don't look at you any different with your makeup on as I do off. I look at you she keeps saying love goggles, and I say the same thing for her. We both have love goggles. Doesn't matter what we look like.
True.
I was real poorly, as you would say here.
Poorly. You nearly died a couple of times.
Yeah, I had diverticulitis, colostomy, a reverse colostomy, an incidental appendectomy, and an incisional hernia. That was about 1.5 years ago, and followed by a quadruple bypass. So my whole stomach area, probably from my throat down to my groin, is like stitches. And there was times where, you know, I had a stoma sticking out of my side, like your mom.
Yep.
And that's how I feel the bond. One of the many bonds that I have.
So he understands my mum.
Yeah, completely.
He understands what she goes through.
Exactly.
Not the pain. My mum's in pain with hers, but with you understood.
Yeah. I've gone through all that, and she's seen me at my worst, and the worst I've ever been physically in my body. But looking at me like she does today, and not changing that view of how I am through her eyes.
How it should be. That's love, isn't it? Yeah. It's not fair weather. No, it's real.
I look at it just like I look at you the same way every day. Makeup on, makeup off, doesn't matter. Or just
I just like wearing my makeup.
This is so lovely. Do you think that this is a question that a lot of people aren't able to let themselves relax enough to be funny, to be humorous with their partner, and not every partner's humor matches either. But do you feel that humor is a big part of your connection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She cracked up when I sent her that 1 second video.
It still does. It still does. It's like I'm like going.
Oh, well, no, yeah, we laugh a lot together. Our inner children love playing. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we're going out to dinner, and then we're going to the arcade.
We're going to the amusements on our last day.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. I love it. I love it. How would you advise people as a couple who've been through hell and back, who have been separated by land masses, by different countries, and all the BS that the controllers put in place to stop people finding what you found? How would you advise people that feel like they may be with their twin soul, their twin flame, but they're hitting walls and they're hitting barriers? How would you advise them?
Well, I would say, first of all, if the actual relationship is secure enough and steady enough, and you've done the work beforehand, because you have to do the work beforehand. I think sometimes people meet that really lovely person, but sometimes they've not done enough before. And so they've got the insecurity, they don't want to be by themselves, they don't feel complete within themselves beforehand. And of course, then the separation can really play havoc on you. You know, jealousy could kick in, and so many other different emotions you could go through. So I think it's important to find that balance and find something that you love that isn't, you know, the relationship. The relationship is one thing, but you've also got to find your life path. You've got to find something that you adore. You know, if you feel lonely, then get yourself a group of people around you that you really connect with. And if you can't get that, because sometimes in America there's lots of spiritual people scattered about, but of course America's so vast, you can't just say, hey, do you want a cup of tea or a coffee or something. It's all got to be online, so be online, you know. But
Also, you know, when it happens, when it happens and it's right, it'll be really easy.
It'll be easy.
We still haven't had a major argument.
We have.
Screw you.
No, we haven't.
I love it. I love it. Can we talk a little bit about date nights and what you guys do? Because I just find this so selfless and so beautiful to humanity, date nights and Facebook.
Well, Greg, when we first got together, I obviously felt that I wasn't just falling in love with Greg. Greg came with a whole In5D family who love Greg, have followed him for years. He's touched many people with his channel. Articles, how many articles are on there?
6,000 articles.
6,000 articles, In5D.com. It's like a whole, well, it's like a library, the spiritual library database. Yeah. So I knew that I was going to be going in to all of that. So it wasn't just him. So when he said, we need to go live, really, we need to do maybe a date night. Okay. And I was going, who's going to want to watch us? Watch us. And I thought, oh, well, I'll give it a go if that's how it is. And I remember I was absolutely dying because I wasn't used to, I was still doing lives, but I wasn't doing what we do now. And we just found that we were just chatting, and then we found there's lots of people were getting hope from our story. And so we thought, okay, well, let's get a list of everybody who wants to find their true love. They want to find that, or they want their existing relationship to get stronger. So I created this list, and everybody was giving me their names. It could be nicknames, it didn't matter. And we got to about 350, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was reading out every name.
It would take Tuesday, like 20 minutes for her to read them out.
Read every name with a candle. And I'd say, we're magnetically visualizing you and your other half, the perfect partner, getting closer and closer and closer. We're visualizing the magnets. And in the end, it was probably boring people listening to me. So we then did it on a ticker tape underneath when we got StreamYard.
Yeah.
The StreamYard, you can do multiple different places. You could, and so we've got about 4 different folders because it's only got so many characters.
1,000 characters per line.
So, but we wanted to be interactive with people, and so it kind of grew and grew and grew. And now we just wonder whether or not calling it date night is putting people off sometimes, thinking that we're just going to be slushy. We are going to be slushy. We're in love.
Yeah.
We're not going to apologize.
That's a good thing.
We're not apologize. Yeah. It just is. And it's as natural as breathing in and out. But we still talk about all different things.
Current events, love life, everything. And, you know, that's why we changed it to Ali and Gregg Family Chat Live or something like that.
Yeah.
We're kind of but it's not called date night, just so it doesn't turn off people that may have
Yes.
relationships or whatever. But we're still putting it out there for people to putting those intentions out there for everyone to find theirs, and we'll keep the ticker going on the bottom
Yeah,
and keep
that's
that.
lovely. There's a lot of lonely people out there.
Yes.
And, the fact that you guys as a married couple, have a date night, it's also a beautiful invitation for those who might be lonely to kind of jump on yours, knowing that it's going to be nice to see love and know that they can bring that to themselves as they do their inner work, let's say, but also to be part of a community. So, Greg, can you tell us about your 5D, your in 5D community, please?
It's amazing. I I started in 5D in 2008, and as I mentioned, part of the download was that I'd be interviewing people and being an introvert. I don't know if you've ever taken the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Mhm.
What are your letters?
Oh, I can't remember, but I'm a big mouth.
So you would be E something because it's either an I or an E. I'm an INFP. I've been that every year since college.
Wow.
Introvert, and you took it, and you're an INFP also. So we're both
Mm.
introverts. And I thought,
Believe it or
man,
not.
yeah. And I thought, man, it's not easy for an introvert to go out and start interviewing people. It took me on In5D, on my In5D channel, YouTube channel, it took me years to put my face on there. I think it was like 4 or 5 years before I finally would show myself on video because I'm introverted.
Wow.
And that doesn't mean you're antisocial. You just go within for answers and stuff like that. But the family part came as I became more, social at least. I started doing spirit chats on the N5D YouTube channel where I'd come up with a topic and invite people to come on. Initially on Zoom, but
Yeah.
we tried it on StreamYard as well. I'll probably go back to Zoom doing more spirit chats, and just everyone's got amazing stories to tell, as you know, because you've interviewed so many people. I
Yeah.
figured why not showcase these people, and so that helped build our N5D family as well. And like I said, the addition of Allie was amazing because they just welcomed her with open arms and full love, and she's been the perfect addition to N5D.
Thank you. I'm sure there's some ladies out there going, "You bitch."
You know it. You know it. You do. You know it. Yeah.
Seeing that big bottomed woman over there.
No,
What?
No, the guys are saying the same thing. Guys are saying, what does she see in him?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but there are just some energies when you see in a couple that are just untouchable. They always will be. And again, it can also reflect on the wound in someone that wants to come in and attack that and break that. And, I'm sure right, you just laugh and it's no arrogance needed. It's just a knowing that this is untouchable, this is pure. And we all, I would say, for the majority of humans on the planet and hybrids, we want this. We want what you have. We do. I know I had it myself for a little bit too short time, but I know what it's like, even though he passed away. And we're doing our spiritual soul work, him on that side and me on this side. And I still very much connect with him as a clairvoyant medium. So it's beautiful for me.
Yeah.
But because I've had it, I think more because I've had what you have, that I recognize it in others. You know what I mean? And it was another reason why when I saw you both on your individual channels and together, I'm like, oh my God, I really, really want to connect with this couple because of the way that we are healing from past lives, from different traumas, and that this is the time, this ascension time on our planet where people like you represent what a healthy relationship can look like, can be, where you're just yourselves. And you mentioned, for me, the most important key, and correct me if you don't believe this and give me your take, and I honestly, truly, deeply, deeply believe that healing that little girl inside, that little boy inside, is the key home. It's to wholeness for self, to wholeness in the relationship. What do you think, Greg?
100%.
When my daughter was little, initially, I've told her this, and I told the world, when my ex-wife was pregnant, people would say, what do you want, a boy or girl? And I thought, well, son, so I could, play baseball or football with him or whatever. But deep down, I always knew it was going to be a daughter. And after she was born, I wouldn't trade her for all the sons in the world.
Ah,
I'm so in love with my little girl. She's 28 years old now, but my baby.
ah.
But she was conceived on my 33rd birthday. So
Oh,
master,
massive.
that was part of her soul plan to come in. She said, basically, if you're not on your soul path by the time you're 33, I'm coming in. And there she came. So I have this little girl, and for example, she on a Sunday night, she'd curl up onto my lap and look at me with her little puppy dog eyes and say in her little angelic voice, "Daddy, can I watch a little football with you?" And I'd be
Ah,
like, "Sure, sweetie." 5 minutes later, she's doing everything other than watching football. She had me wrapped around her little finger.
ah.
It took me like a couple years to figure this out. And finally I said, "No, go to bed." Oh, but the thing is, that little soft voice, those, angel voice, the puppy dog, she showed me a side I haven't seen of myself since I was a kid, that inner child. That was one of her many lessons that she taught me. And
Mm.
bringing out and that's what a lot of guys have a hard time with now. That's why there's not, I believe this is why I don't think there's as many awakened straight men as there should be, because they're afraid to show that divine feminine side of themselves that we all have, guys, and ladies have the divine masculine
Yeah.
just as well, but they're afraid to embrace that side of themselves. And for me, it was a miracle, and I thank my daughter. And once again, I went to pick up Brittany one time when at her mom's house. I had her for that particular weekend. She wasn't ready at the time, so her mom said, "Hey, have you ever watched the trailer to The Secret?" I'm like, "No." That's when I got introduced to The Secret. So I mean, through
Oh,
Brittany once again. So I'm just so blessed and grateful that Britt showed me that side of myself that everyone has to really acknowledge and embrace.
And you weren't just a weekend dad. You basically shared half and half parental
Right down the middle.
right down the middle. So even as a baby, he was a dad right from there, weren't you?
Yeah. So I remember, I would have her on Tuesday, Monday, Wednesdays, and every other weekend. My ex had her Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every other weekend. Whoever had her on the weekend got her on Fridays. So I remember there'd be times where I'd try painting her nails. Nobody told me that you're supposed to go in one direction. I just kind of like go in a circle. I tried, doing her hair up. I try to do the mom kind of things that she deserved horribly, but I also taught her how to throw a great spiral on with a American football, and how to. I remember one time we went. I had in the United States we play stickball, and it's
What's
a tennis ball.
football?
It's a tennis ball, and you throw it against this strike zone on the wall, and you stand there with a baseball bat and you try to hit it. So
Oh,
I brought that to Britt. I said, "Hey, let's go play some stickball." And she's like, "Okay." So I go down there and I'm kind of like lobbing these balls at her. She swings and it nicks off the bat and hits her in the head.
oh.
She starts crying. I go, "It's all right, sweetie. We don't have to do it anymore." She goes, "No, I want to keep doing it." So I swear to God, the next pitch I throw, she hits this line drive that almost took my head off.
Wow.
Yeah, but those are some of the things, I know some people, they will never have children. I respect that too. But man, that was one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
he always says that in 5D wouldn't be there if he didn't have that,
It's true.
if it wasn't for
If
Brittany.
it wasn't for Brit, and 5D wouldn't exist.
Wow. I
She would
love
have
that.
visited me.
So
Yeah.
your brand, which is called again in5d.com, and I will put links under our broadcast here, has been long term with a beautiful following, and you guys are now participating and developing it together. And you were, with welcome, open arms, everyone's just accepted you, Ali, which is lovely.
Yeah.
I love that for you. Ali, I know that you do readings. You both do readings together, but can you tell us a little bit about your readings? That people will want to connect to both of you. So can you tell us, Ali, the kind of readings that you do and how people go about connecting with you, even though I will put details under the broadcast?
Oh, thank you, Danny. Well, I do all sorts of different readings. They're different time readings, so that you do longer readings or short readings. But I also do kind of love life readings. So at the moment, I've been working on. So I like to do is future predictions with me, not necessarily the mediumship as such. With contact with spirit, it's more future predictions. Not saying they don't come in, but they don't come in every time. But what I'm doing at the moment is I'm tuning into the person's perfect partner, and we can look and see where they are, what they're doing, where they are emotionally. And sometimes you can clearly see that they're just not ready. They're not at the person's level. They're not ready. They might already be in a relationship at that time that may be not right, but they haven't quite worked that out. So that's I do love readings, life path. So we can look into career life path readings. Just lots of different ones, different choices. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, too. She does the weekly tarot forecast on the N5D YouTube channel, and yours as well, the Psychic Alley one. We simulcast it. Her weekly tarot forecast, people are like, I can't believe you nailed it again. You nailed it again. Just think how accurate she'll be when she tunes into your specific energy. She's amazing. She really, but it's true. It's
I would
true.
hope so.
I believe in her.
Second biggest, because my mom is my biggest.
I believe in you. I do. I do.
That is so beautiful. So beautiful.
Sure.
You know, I could honestly just sit and chat with you guys for hours. I'm just being mindfully conscious and respectful that it is Gregg, you are returning to the States, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I am delighted that you guys made yourselves available. I am so happy to bring you onto my Small But Mighty channel. I know there will be many people that just fall in love with you and really, really listen to the words you've shared and really look at themselves in a way maybe they haven't thus far, and that to know they can also connect with you and meet with you and have consultations with you.
Yeah, we'd love that.
What would you like to say, Ali? We'll start with you. Final closing words. What would you like to say to the people that will see you?
Just that you've come to the right place, because Dani's amazing. I'm so pleased that you know, it's what you do and the way that you, I've got to say this because it's the way that you spoke about that conference and the love that you was pouring out, the message that you're doing, wanting to open people, wanting to spread that love energy. It's all about love, is basically all that me and Gregg are doing. And so watching a fellow person, it's selfless. A lot of what you're doing is selfless work, because you know it's for the greater good. And so, yeah, I would say I get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not crying.
Although final words were not meant to be about me, but I do accept them, and I thank you so much. And I nearly cried. I'm such a the conference in particular. Something has happened just before I come to you, Gregg. Something extraordinary has happened in so many people, so many hundreds and hundreds of people that were there. Hundreds of emails, people saying online, people are having broadcasts across the world, taking apart the galactic and spiritual informers connection, having their own round tables about how they felt, what happened to them. So thank you for reminding me of that, because it is about love, and we all recognize, and some of us, when we're getting together, we're just crying, we're just bawling. We're obviously still healing and we're growing, but the consciousness level on the planet, not just because of that particular conference, in all of us, it's time. There's something so beautiful happening. So Gregg, let me come to you. Final words. What would you like the audience that will see you and feel your heart and see your adoration and love for your goddess, what would you like to say to them?
I just want to touch on one thing real quick, and that's Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008, stays there until the end of next year. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn was during both the French and American revolutions. What's going on right now? This shows us how time is cyclic. So what's happening is Pluto's bringing this truth vibration and exposing, it's bringing the light. And that's why more recently, you know, as we continue closer to the end of next year, we're seeing more and more truth being exposed. those who are committing crimes, it's getting almost exposed immediately now.
Yep.
Whereas it was swept under the
Yep.
carpet beforehand. So the next year, by the end of next year, you're going to see some amazing things happen. So, you know, the best is yet to come. Maybe we might even see like some patents shown that were hidden for years, like Stanley Meyer's water-powered car that could go from coast to coast in the United States on 22 gallons, or med beds or stuff like that. So maybe we'll start seeing some of this stuff come out. And lastly, I just want to say thank you once again for having us on your show.
We appreciate it.
And allowing me to share you, like I have with Allie, with my N5D family. And, you know, we welcome all of your family as well to ours as well. So thank
It's
you.
about networking sometimes, isn't it?
Definitely. It's finding a vibe and being honest and saying that we're still all doing the work. That nobody that you watch, in my opinion, is perfect. There's no thing as perfect, because everyone's idea of perfection is different. So how could there be a perfect?
Yeah.
And I'm feeling this huge soul group anyway between us all. So we are all supposed to, we wouldn't have had this connection right now had we not been in each other's soul groups.
True.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And again, you know, it was interesting because just on the kind of an earth cycle, I was in Sarasota where you were, Greg, in the hurricane 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That hurricane, and bless the people that got slaughtered in Fort Myers. That's so horrendous. There were a couple, I'm hoping to bring them on my channel. Oh my God, they bought me this beautiful Ray and Sammy. Hi guys. They lost their house. They lost everything. They were decimated, and we were able to gift them a way to come to the conference, and they had the and so I'm going to bring them on a round table with others who also have extraordinary stories. They brought me this, and I did get it, and thank you so much, Ray and Sammy. I love it. Love it. The Sarasota, so I was there with my friend Sheila, and the storm was coming, and I kept, your videos kept popping up because you kept doing lives, Greg, because you live there. And I was like, oh my God, this is getting a little bit like, woo. And then this energy went through me and said, get in a car and get out, literally. And so I did. I literally hired a car. I got this beautiful, great, big, huge Brazilian woman called Desiree, who drove me in the thunder, the lightning, but it was great. So, I was like ahead. I got ahead of the hurricane, and then it came. And what was so amazing in the whole of Orlando, which is, I mean, Sarasota's what, 2.5 hours away from Orlando-ish?
Yeah.
In the whole of Orlando, which is a giant, giant city, all on the news channels, there was one photograph that they showed, and it was a massive flood in a parking lot between two hotels. Our hotel, where we held the conference, the Doubletree Hilton was on one side, and the Holiday Inn, where I was staying for a few nights, was on the other. And in the middle was this massive, massive flood with one sad little white car that was covered up to the windows. And I remember looking at that and thinking, wow, I ran ahead of the hurricane and the flood followed me here. And there you are, showing to try to scare people away from the conference. All I have to say to the cabal, the Illuminati, the Satanics, the Deep State, is one of those and one of those.
Yes. Yay! Love it.
Did you ever make it to Siesta Key?
Huh?
Did you ever make it to Siesta Key?
I did. I went to Siesta Key. I went to what's the other one? Because I was staying in Osprey. Well, the Walmart thing got blown off. That was slammed. I was there.
Probably Venice Beach down there.
Huh?
Venice Beach and Osprey.
Venice Beach, Osprey, Casey Key. And I went out to Almond Circle, and it's a beautiful part of America. Florida, the Florida Keys, like such a beautiful, beautiful part. Sarasota, all I can tell you about my own experience there, Greg, and you live there mostly. The energy there was the highest. Whatever galactic, whatever portal, whatever opening, there is something extraordinarily special about Sarasota. Yeah.
There's, if you look at the numerology of Siesta Key, I think Siesta Key numerology, if you add up all the letters, 33,
Mm.
Sarasota, 22, Florida, 11.
Stop it. That's
I
brilliant.
can't wait to bring Ellie there.
I can't go in because I haven't had the jibby.
Yeah.
Oh, you won't need it, darling. Trust me. People are coming back and forth, back and forth. It's all BS bollocks. It's all stopping.
Told you.
They've got to stop the genocide. The light is on the murderers. The genocide stops now. So it's all shifting. We don't put that fear in our space. We just do one of those and one of those, and we just move on.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Well, this has been so beautiful and an honor to have you on my Mighty channel, honestly. And I can't wait to play with you more in the future and listen and hear more about the great work that you two are doing. And I do see you both as real light holders of love in couplings, and I'm sure you're going to continue to do, you know, I don't like the word workshop. I prefer to call them play dates. Like you know, where you'll be bringing many couples together to help them work through their wounds, etc., and anything else that you've got planned. But you two really are this beautiful golden light of so much that we as a humanity aspire to be. Thank you both so much.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dani.
Pleasure. I'll talk to you soon. Hold on there for 1 minute. And to you, beautiful lot out there, I know you've enjoyed meeting with Gregg and Ali. See, he's doing it again. See how he looks at his girly men.
I thought we were off camera.
Still here. We're still here, Gregg. Hold on. 1 second. Oh my God. Yes, men, women, whoever you be, like, learn to look with absolute unconditional love at your partner. Sometimes that's all we need. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, to you guys out there, I send you my love. I am Dani Henderson, spiritual therapist, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.